second and get my screen started sharing. So hopefully you can all see my screen now, and we'll go ahead and get started. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to run through. I promise we'll try to keep this as quick as possible. There is a new feature that we added this week, or a update to a feature based on a client request, and then I wanted to go through a couple of things that have been in the application for some time, but we've had some questions about. So I just wanted to cover those quickly. So we'll start with the new feature that was put in, or that modification to the post error alerts that are in Engage121. Now, we've had these in the application for some time. You find them in Account, and then under Alerts, there is a Speak Alert option for post error alerts. And what a post error alert is essentially a email or text alert that one of your posts has failed to successfully be posted to the social platform. There are a variety of reasons that this can happen. Some of the things that happen most often is the person who made the connection to Engage121 is no longer an admin on that page. That's one thing that can happen. Or if someone changes the password for the account that was used to make the connection to Engage121, that's another thing that can happen. Or just it revokes access for whatever reason. Resetting your Facebook on password, or Twitter, or virtually all of the platforms will break your connection with third-party applications like Engage121. So those are just some things that might cause a post to fail. Other things that can happen are congestion on the APIs. So you've all heard of the Twitter fail whale. They will fail the API before they will fail the web user face. So there may be times where there is too much traffic, too much congestion for Twitter to handle all the requests. And to accommodate that, one of the things that we do with Engage121 that's particularly beneficial if you're scheduling posts is if your post does fail for whatever reason, if for whatever reason that social platform does not return a success message back to us, whether it's because there's traffic issues or the password changes or whatever errors that can occur, we retry sending that post 5 times. So we'll wait, and every 5 minutes we'll try to resend that again until the either that platform comes back online and the post is completed successfully, or we reach that 5-try limit, in which case we don't continue to hit those APIs with a failing post. We say, okay, we've given it its chance. There's something that needs to be addressed here before this can be sent, and in that case, we will fail the post. So what we added, particularly as a solution for those of you who do schedule a lot of your posts in advance, is a post error alert. So we've had this for some time for corporate posts. So in the case that you're posting through Speak Corporate, the post isn't able to complete successfully, you'll get an email letting you know that your post failed to complete successfully and that there's something you need to do about it. You may be posting it natively because the API is down completely, changing a password, whatever, in order to get that post to go out. But we didn't have it previously for Speak Local posts. Now, for a lot of our clients, for those of you who do have Speak Local, who have outlets, your outlets approve your posts, they manage their connections, and they would manage all of that. But for some of you, you use Engage121 in a way that your outlets don't approve your posts before they go out. You're able to use Speak Local and post as you'd like through your Engage121 corporate login. And in that case, you may also be the admin or holder of all of those connections at the outlet level as well. So we've added the ability to receive post-error alerts whenever you have a Speak Local post that has failures for whatever reason. So clicking on the alert will allow you to turn it on. This is not enabled by default, so if this is something you want to take advantage of, please do go to the Account Alerts section, and under Speak you'll find that that post-error alert. And you can set this up to receive them via email or SMS text messages, and those will go to the email or phone number that you have under your profile section. So that's where you would manage those. You can set up those alerts, and you will receive a notification if for any reason that post is unable to complete successfully. The two other things I want to run through just really quickly are things that have been in the application for some time, but that maybe didn't get communicated as widely as we might hope. We've had a couple questions about them, so I just wanted to reiterate those. One of them being responding from an alternate Twitter handle, and the other being a size check that we're doing on Twitter photo posts. To explain those real quickly, in Listen, we previously had everything configured so that anytime you would go to respond to a Twitter post, you would automatically be responding as the platform, the connection that it came in from, the Twitter connection that it came in from. But there are certainly use cases where you may want to respond to something to a tweet via a different connection. One example that happened to me just recently is I reached out to the Cloud API Twitter handle with a question about functionality, and they replied back to me through a developer handle. So they have a separate account that they can respond to things from in addition to that Cloud API Twitter handle. So you may have someone who comments or mentions your primary brand handle, but you may have one that's a customer care handle or client service issues, whatever. You may have a separate handle, and you may want to take that communication off of the main brand handle and onto a separate, more directly related to the type of post that you're responding to. So in Listen, when you click on Engage and you select Reply, you now can pick from any of the Twitter connections that you have connected to your Engage121 account, and not just the connection that it came in through. Again, that's been in there for some time, but we had a question about it recently, so I wanted to make sure that everyone understood that it was there. Also, there's not a whole lot for me to show in terms of this, but Twitter does limit the size of photos when you post to Twitter. So you can only post a photo that's up to 3 megabytes currently. They may change that file size at some point, but for the time being, it's 3 megabytes. But at Engage121, when you upload content into the library, we permit you to upload much larger photos. And we may do that for a number of reasons. We may put a large photo up because you need to use it in a fanlet for a Fangate image or something along those lines. But those may be larger than that 3 megabyte limit. So we allow you to upload those so you can use them in the places where it applies. But what we've added in Speak is a check that when you are posting through to Twitter, if the file you've selected is larger than accommodated, for example. And this is this is a Facebook album, but if you're posting a photo that is larger than what that platform will accommodate, we're going to display an error message to you and let you know that the photo you've selected is too large for that platform. So you can go back and you can just go back to this first step and speak and upload a smaller version of it. But so that's been in the system for some time as well. Then the last thing I wanted to talk about is a social commerce use case. So we're focusing our development of Engage121 on meeting real business solutions, not just the cool factor of social media, but things that actually affect the bottom line for business. And one of those solutions is what we refer to as S-commerce or social commerce. You're all obviously familiar with e-commerce, and social commerce is just kind of a connection between your e-commerce and your social media outreach. So to highlight this, to start this this use case off, I'm going to start in the account and library section. And the reason I'm doing that is that we have a library that you may or may not be familiar with that's called auto engagements. And auto engagements are essentially pre-written posts that are available for use whenever you're in that engage button. So either in listen or explore, in cases, anywhere that you're using that engage functionality, you have the option to select auto engagements. There are a number of benefits to auto engagements. Obviously, some of those are you can just have a pre-written response that relates to the types of posts that you get often. You can actually have these set up depending upon how you have your permissions configured. You can, as an admin on the account, create auto engagements and make them available to users who do not have permission to post otherwise. They can't, users, you may have junior users who are monitoring just basic things that are coming into your feed, mentions, that sort of thing, and giving them a way, an avenue to respond to those posts without putting the burden of writing the post from scratch. You can have a level of compliance and permissions to go along with that by simply having these pre-written posts available, and they're able, those junior people are able to use those posts in response to mentions that are coming in through your feed. However, if you have full speak permissions, one of the other benefits here is that for an auto engagement, you can have some necessary information put together already in a readily accessible form, but still add to it. So, for example, if I've got a coupon link or a link to my store, for example, I can create a bit.ly for that and just put it in an auto engagement. You know, in this case, I've just named it coupon. I've got a bit.ly in here, but this way, anytime I respond to someone through the engage button, I'll be able to select this auto engagement, add my response to it, but I've already got that bit.ly link pre-populated and ready to go. I can make that response, use a link that is already set up for tracking in my evaluate charts, so I can see, you know, I can look at my activity, my engagements, and look at the number of clicks on my link and see how my engagements, how my activity actually affects the traffic to those bit.ly links that I have. So this is just a basic example of having a coupon link ready, but I could also have something that's a little more complete. So I've got a pre-written post here that also includes a bit.ly link in it, and I can use that to send it out. Now, that's the setup side. To actually put this into place, into practice, we'll go to Explore, and I'm going to set past 24 hours as my time period, because I'm looking for people who are actively trying to make a decision, for example. And then I'll go ahead and open my advanced search. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can build searches to find prospects, people who are actively trying to make a decision on whether they're going to choose your business or someone else. But one case that we'll do a sample case here. I would use Java 121, but people aren't mentioning Java 121 since we're a fake company. But what I will use is we'll use Starbucks, for example. So if I put a post in here that's Starbucks or, so the exact phrase is Starbucks or, what I'm going to see coming back, I'm going to see things where I'm asking questions, should I get Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts? Should I go to Starbucks or Krispy Kreme, or Starbucks or Sleep In? A lot of different posts along those lines. So here's an example. Someone's posting about if I get Starbucks from coffee, or I don't even know what that is. Last adders. I'm not familiar with that one. But you see examples where people are posting about, do I want Starbucks or something else? So in the case that I was Starbucks, for example, I might say, thanks. I hope this helps your decision. So I'll go to an auto engagement here. I'll select the coupon and choose how to reply, and say maybe this coupon will help your decision. So we can put that post together and get it ready to and send it out just like that. So with very little work, I've prepped a post to go out. I've got a link. I'm going to track exactly how my actions are benefiting clicks on my links, and ultimately conversions on either on my e-commerce site or actual foot traffic to my local businesses. So that's one case. We can go through, and any restaurant that would want to do something like this, or any business where someone's making the decision of, should I go to this store or this store? Should I use that store or that store? Any type of business along those lines, you can create a search relatively easy using that sort of search structure. Now, and then I can save this, and I can have my search, and I can monitor it and have all that content coming in throughout the day. Another example of how I might want to do this is for the example of I'm a flooring business, for example. So I might want it to mention, we'll do let's say floor, for example, that someone mentions floor. Now, in addition to that, I'm a flooring business, so people are generally going to be coming to my store in the case that they need to replace their flooring. So the reasons they might replace the flooring are they ruined it, or it's flooded, or they have mold problems, or something along those lines. So terms that might relate to flooring and an intention to replace flooring. So maybe I'll expand this out a little bit more, but I'm going to find people who are actively asking their friends, their followers, about if they would recommend something. So I had some better examples up earlier. We'll pull something here that talking about someone flooding. Here we go. So we found someone about flooding their kitchen. We could reach out to them again and say, we're sorry to hear about it. Here's a link to our to our store, where or here's a link to a coupon to get a discount at your local XYZ flooring store. So just another example of can use that explore functionality to actively influence potential customers, potential prospects in their decision making. And I think that in general, posing a question and getting to Twitter primarily, you're looking to get responses back. The user is looking to get responses back, and seeing that your business is in tune with where they're asking their questions, where they're looking for information. Is going to be they're going to see a benefit to knowing you're in tune with where they're looking for information and providing that information and availability to them. Another thing that I will point out real quickly here, because I know I've done it before, is in Listen, if you have your Foursquare venues connected, another thing that you can do is monitor the check-ins at your venues, and say if that person has their Twitter account connected, you can reply directly to them through Twitter. So even though the actual check-in comes in through your Foursquare venue connection, and they may not have publicly posted that check-in, you still have, if they have their Twitter account connected and made public, you can still respond to them directly and say, thanks for checking in. Go here to fill out our survey for a chance to win XYZ whatever coupon. Or thanks for checking in. Here's a coupon for your loyalty. All those sorts of things. That one-to-one communication with your clients, with your customers, and communicating with them and actively influencing their purchase decision making while they're making that decision. At any rate, those are the things that I wanted to cover this week. We'll continue to work on more use cases for you, particularly use cases that do that directly affect the bottom line of your business. So driving more social traffic, managing your reputation online, your brand's reputation in the social media sphere, and managing customer care. We'll look at those use cases, how to engage and promote those things, how to improve those things, and then how to measure that as well. But additionally, lots of new things coming. We are working on a integration for Instagram, so we will have that in the application early February. And we're continuing to build out, but we do want to obviously hear back from you on the things that you'd like to see us cover in future webinars, and as well as development in Engage directly. Finally, want to again remind you to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to that YouTube channel. Every week, my colleague who sits here and answers your questions, Jennifer McDonald, does a social media update video to that YouTube page, that YouTube channel, explaining the new things that have happened in social media in general, not just the things related to Engage121, but information you need to know about changes like Facebook search and things along those lines. So I do highly encourage you to check out those videos as you can on that Engage121 YouTube channel. Again, thank you all for joining us. We'll be back here next week, and have a great, wonderful weekend.